what it is. Boys, I actually made it. Guys, I actually made the video by the time I told you guys I was gonna make the video. This is kind of insane. I actually can't believe it. So welcome. Yanagi pre-farm guide. Guys, first of all, I really want to thank everybody for the very positive and supportive reception that my last Bernice video did. I was honestly not sure how much people would like to pre-farm like I do, or how much that, you know, kind of guide was going to be helpful. But I was very happy with the result and how I was able to help some of you guys out with some questions that you had. So in light of that, I put this one out, right? I promised you guys that I was going to do the Yanagi video, and here it is. Talking about that video too, it did seem a little bit too long, but I kind of needed that length to be able to help players no matter how new they were to the game. But for the sake of brevity, this would be more concise and to the point. But just in case you don't know where to farm some of the materials that I'm going to talk to you guys about right now, then refer to that video. It has the explanation for everything, and I'm going to link it in the description. The short of it is Scout Outposts for weekly boss materials and disk drives, and the HIA for every other material. Remember, you know, Bertha being best girl and all. And last disclaimer, remember that all calculations that I do here for approximate times are based on using both the A rank and the B rank materials that you get from farming, and on using usually a full 320 daily stamina, and after crafting and dismantling your surplus materials according to what you need. Right, so now we're gonna go over every single material for you to completely max out your Yanagi on day one. And you know, with the usual hamster cage pass caveat. Leveling. To level your Yanagi from 1 to 60, you're gonna need 300 senior investigator logs, or the equivalent of 900k XP. Farm those in the HIA, takes you about 4 to 5 days. For Ascensions, you're gonna need a total of 100k Denny's, 4 basic anomaly certification seals, 32 advanced anomaly certification seals, and 30 controller certification seals. Also in the HIA, 2 days for the Denny's, and an additional 2 days for the seals. And remember to craft and dismantle. And to help out newer players, like I said, on screen right now are any intermediate level caps in case you don't want to level your Yanagi to 60, but to something else. If you're also set on going for her W engine, you're going to need the Wenjin version of seals, which are the components. The amount is the exact same, but it takes you a little less time to farm, like a day and a half, give or take. You need 200 W engine energy modules, which are the XP mats, or the equivalent in that of like 600k WXP. Takes about 3 days of farming. And the last thing is an additional 400k Denny's, which takes you about a day something to farm. Now, on to agent skills. As I always tell you guys, this is the insane time sink. It's the biggest grind besides disk drives. To fully level up all 5 basic agent talents, you're gonna need 2,500k Denny's, 25 basic shock chips, 75 advanced shock chips, and a whopping 250 specialized shock chips, and the dreaded 5 hamster cage passes. Seriously, I hate these so much. Denny's here take you about a 7-day full farming grind, and the chips average on about 10 days for every single one that you need. And of course, the hamster cage passes are what require the most patience out of anything to grind in this game, because we only get 3 of those every 42 days ish. It's not even 5, and that's why I hate it so much. You get 2 of these from the battle pass if you pay for it, or only 1 if you don't. And usually every major patch, or like a 6-week period, we get 1 in-game event that if we complete it substantially, we get 1 of these. For example, right now we have the Overlord's Feast if you're watching this video close to the time that it came out. So if you haven't gotten that yet, make sure you do it. And with all that in mind, guys, if you are looking to like completely max her out, here on screen are the thresholds for single skill and multi-skill leveling. But of course, since the hamster cage passes are such a pain, you might want to save the ones that you have for a future character. Maybe Yanagi isn't like your favorite girl ever right now, or you just feel like future characters might make more of a difference for your account and your in-game experience. So here on screen now are the needed materials for going only up to level 11 on the basic skills. Just don't stress too much about these guys. Just, you know, go to wherever you can. Your character's not a failure if it's 11, 11, 11, right? Don't worry about it. Core passives. To get all levels in the core passes, you're gonna need 405k Denny's, 60 normal boss materials, and 9 weekly boss materials. Again, Denny's here are gonna take you about a day and a little something. The normal boss material you're looking at is the higher dimensional data destructive advance. You get it with Lila. Takes you about 2 days. And the weekly boss material is the living drive. You get it with Ophelia and a scout outpost, which also takes you about 2 days if you haven't been using the free, 3 weekly limit thing. If you're just gonna go with the surplus stamina spending, then it's gonna take you about 2 days. And that is it. That is all the materials you need as far as the character goes. So let's talk about early builds. And I do mean early, guys. Like, I don't want to commit to anything in her kit because every day I got into YouTube, there are new videos saying that she got changed, that she got buffed, that stuff is not the same that it was in the betas, you know, things like that. So let's focus on an early thing that's just going to be decent. W engine choices are really simple. Her signature, I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be 100% her best choice. It always is. That's the way these games work. And if you do have Grace's engine, it probably works fine. If we're going completely free to play, then it's the three usual suspects: Weeping Gemini, Rainforest Gourmet, and Electro Lip Gloss. The first two you can get from the store, and Electro Lip Gloss you can get from the Battle Pass. I personally prefer the Weeping Gemini as far as these three go, but you know, pick your poison. Now, as far as disk drives go, I've heard tons of things across the community also on whether using Chaos Jazz as what the devs probably wanted you to do is really optimal or not, as opposed to using Thunder Metal and even building crit. But I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you that in my opinion, if it really is true, then that is just bad game design. Chaos Jazz was obviously designed to be used by Bernice and Yanagi. Like, why would it buff electric damage in the first place? Like, why would you not make the new disk drive the best one? You know, the one that you created for the characters? Isn't the whole point of adding a new disk drive system to make people farm the new content? I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something here. Feel free to correct me. Regardless of all of that, I still think that on day one, you're gonna be just fine going for Chaos Jazz. Especially if you've been farming for Bernice or Caesar, you probably have some good pieces there and then you don't need to like keep farming, right? So thinking that you're going for Chaos Jazz, the 4-piece, in the left side main stats, I suggest to you Anomaly Proficiency on disc 4, Electric Damage on disc 5, and Anomaly Mastery on disc 6. And then the 2-piece Freedom Blues, right? It's always welcome. Like, it's more anomaly, why not? And I want to double down and say I really think this is going to be just fine. You're going to have no problem clearing anything if you just build it this way. Now, I'd say don't worry too much about substats for day one, especially since it takes you a long time to farm everything else. But if you want, then try to get Anomaly Proficiency and Attack % in every piece. Also, if you are going to farm for disk drives and you're watching this video close to the time I put it out, then make sure you take advantage of the double rewards event that's going on until the 21st. And good luck on the farm. To level 6 disk drive, you're gonna need 144 plating agents, which by themselves is like a 1 to 3 day of farming, depending on how many of these you actually get while farming for the disk drives that you want. And we're done. Okay, so recap time, boys. For all you future Yanagi mains, the 100% complete list of every single material that you need to farm for her to max her out on day one is 4,537,000 Dennies, 4 basic anomaly certification seals, 32 advanced anomaly certification seals, 30 controller certification seals, 300 senior investigator logs or the equivalent, 4 basic anomaly components, 32 reinforced anomaly components, 30 specialized anomaly components, 200 W engine energy modules, 25 basic shock chips, 75 advanced shock chips, 250 specialized shock chips, 5 hamster cage passes, 60 higher dimensional data destructive advance, 9 live-in engine, 144 ether plating agents or the equivalent, and a full build of disk drives to your choosing. And the expected amount of time for you to farm all of this based off of a 320 stamina daily usage is 12 days for the full 4.5 million Dennies, 5 days for XP materials, 2 days for certification seals, 3 days for the W engine XP materials, 2 days for W components, 10 days for the full elemental chip farm, 2 days for normal boss materials, 0 to 2 days for weekly boss materials depending on if you're using the 3 allotted free weekly farming nodes, and 3 days for plating agents or less, which summed up, depending on things that you have already, should equal to about 30 to 40 days of complete farm. I know that's a lot of time. But as I've said in other videos, this is expected because the game is designed around a 6-week or 40-ish day period. So it makes sense that they want you to be able to max out one character every 6 weeks. Now, if that's good for the player base or not, it's a completely other ballpark and something for another video. But please keep in mind, guys, that all of these daily values are based on the fact if you start the pre-farm with absolutely nothing which we know is not really realistic. Most of us have some of these things already if we're planning for Yanagi. What is unfortunate though is that over here I'm not adding the time that you're gonna need to completely get 5 hamster cage passes, which can be up to 60 days or more, just because of the time gate. And I'm not adding the time here that it's gonna take for you to farm your disk drives, because it really is RNG on whether you get the main stats that you need or not. And it's even worse if you're going for subs. So even with the things that we do have, it averages about 40 days. Take it easy. It's a single player casual game. There is no race. Don't worry about, losing your life to disk drive farm. And please don't beat yourself over it if you don't get her to absolutely the best stats or the maximum level of everything that you can on day one. It doesn't make you more or less of a Yanagi fan. That's it, boys. I hope I helped. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If you like these more laid-back guides that I do, or if you just like ZZZ content, please consider subbing to my channel and giving a like. It really, really helps me out because I'm a small channel right now, and because I'm a small channel, I get to read all the comments that you guys post, so if you want to talk about this, please go ahead and do so. If you have any questions or suggestions that you actually want to tell me yourself, then just join my streams, man. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Times are on the description. I do Gacha content then, and on Saturdays, I do variety content, and on Sundays, I do retro games. Yeah, so once again, thank you guys for watching. This is your boy Ktsu, and we're signing out.